Hey everyone, this is Stefan from ProjectLifeMastery.com, and right now I'm sitting down with Mike Rashid, who is a professional boxer, a vegan bodybuilder, and a very successful online entrepreneur. He's founder of the company called the Ambrosia Collective, which is a nutraceutical company that focuses on creating products to help you optimize your health. One of the products here is called Planta. This is a plant-based protein powder, which has some pretty remarkable flavors. This one is strawberry shortcake. Really looking forward to trying this. But last year, you guys did 5 million in sales. This year, you're gonna do 7 million in sales. And you guys are growing fast. You built other successful businesses, one of which you sold this year for 7 figures. And so I'm looking forward to interviewing you, and just wanna say thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. It's kind of cool that we're here together because, you know, in my researching for how to do Amazon properly, you guys came up, and you guys are the only ones I've been following, you know, pertaining to this, outside of just random people just getting information. So that's awesome. This is kind of cool. We linked up, happened to see each other in the gym.
We saw each other at Gold's gym, and he recognized us from our videos, and that's why we're here today. And you know, a lot of my audience, they're brand new, right? So they're just getting started to wanting to build their online business, and you know, whether that's on Amazon or e-commerce or affiliate marketing or creating their own product or service. And then another segment of my audience, they've already got a business. They've maybe got a product on Amazon, their own Shopify store or whatever it might be, but they want to scale that up and grow it. So I wanted to pick your brain on, I guess, those components. I know you've been involved and had success in a lot of different arenas that I think will be very valuable for somebody that's watching this. But do you want to maybe start just with your story, like how you got started with entrepreneurship, and even kind of how you've transitioned from being a professional athlete, and you still are, but now to running successful businesses?
Okay, so my story is kind of weird, right? Because the professional athlete part came later, right, and I'll get into that. So in about 2011, 2010, 2009, I was a personal trainer. Just a normal trainer. I worked at Gold's Gym in Long Beach, and you know, I was pretty good at it. I had a goal after the first year. I was going to take my clients outside of the gym and train them independently. So I wrote all of these goals down. I had it was like, get this certification, that certification, do this, you know, everything was written down. So about a year in, maybe a little bit over, I happened to go back to that book, and I forgot that I wrote this stuff out. And I'm reading, I'm like, I hit everything on here. So I was like, all right, it's time for me to go ahead and do the independent thing. And it's funny because I ended up being, you know, the top. As a personal trainer, you have to sell the training packages. So when you first start out, they have you go and re-rack weights, and they'll kind of feed you clients here and there, but you're supposed to start drumming up business on your own. So once I really figured out how to sell the train, I knew how to train. I've been in fitness all my life. I became an amateur boxer at the age of 12. So since 12 to now, I've always been in shape, active, you know, just living the life. But I didn't know how to sell it. I was like, the membership's only $50. The training, I gotta ask them for $70 for 1 hour with me. How can I do this? So I just figured it out. And I had it. Once I had it, right? So it was fun. It was like, it almost became like a game. Like no one was able to sit down with me for a consultation and not buy. Right. It was a game, right? So anyway, I was doing like 80% of the gym's PT revenue. We had like 12 trainers. I did almost all the business. However, we got paid nothing, right? They take so much money from you. So even with that being said, it was still scary quitting the gym and working for myself. I mean, out the gate, I would make a lot more money, right? But I was so, I guess it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome. Like you're a slave or you love this little tiny paycheck because you know it's coming, right? And I was just afraid to shake that boat, but I did it. And the first month I made like 15 grand. And that's from 4,000 to 15, right? So I was like, all right, I like this. This is gonna work. So then I didn't make money for like 2 months. I was like, damn, this is not good. So I was charging people the way that I charged them at the gym, you know, with big packages. And I learned that doesn't work. for me independently, right? So I started doing monthly, right? And then that worked. So it kind of normalized my income coming in. And what I would do, I started utilizing YouTube to track my clients' progress, right? Instead of just having a picture of before and after, I had that too, but I also had videos of when Sarah could only do 1 pull-up. Now she's doing 10 pull-ups, right? Of course, with her performance increasing, she's gonna look amazing as well. And I'm always performance-based because I know that's how you get real gains. So that was getting me more clients, right? And also every now and then, I would put videos of me doing training. Because what made me successful as a trainer was the fact that I made sure I was in better shape than everybody in my gym. Nobody could outdo me in anything. I'm real competitive like that. And I really care about, if you're giving me, I don't care if it's $20 for an hour or $200, I'm going to give you the best service possible. So I constantly qualify myself, got multiple certifications, and I love training. I've always been active, so I've always dialed into that. And that's what was getting me more business. I tell people all the time, to be successful in business, your product has got to be good.
Yeah.
But I don't care about your marketing, this, that, and the third. The bottom line is the product has got to be good. And in that business, I was the product, right? The information, my wisdom, and me, them looking at me, because I don't care what anybody say. I can't follow somebody in a field and they don't look the part. I'm sorry. I don't care that you used to do it or you had an injury. That's fine, but you gotta lead.
It's
properly.
that credibility and like the congruence of that, right? And people, what you're sharing is that much more powerful when you look the part versus someone that just has all the theory, the knowledge, which in the fitness space, there's plenty of people like that, but they don't have the results.
It's so much of that. So YouTube gave me an interesting dynamic in what I did because most trainers weren't doing that, right? So, and I wasn't doing it for no other reason other than really wanting to track my clients' progress. I'm proud that you can do this now. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that it worked marketing wise was a byproduct. I wasn't thinking about that. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Nothing that I've done so far, I've done okay, like so far. And I've never went into any of my ventures with the mindset of how much money I'm gonna make, how I'm gonna market this, that, and the third. When people give me credit for being a good businessman, I'm like, I'm not. Yeah. I'm just a normal guy who I happen to do things that I think that I'm good at and that I really like to do or really want to do. So it always works out, right? So that's how. So with that, with YouTube, I would put my workouts on there as well sometimes, and people were really liking it. So around this time, I believe Instagram started coming on the scene. I think around 2012, something like that.
Is that when you started your YouTube, or when did you start?
No, I started YouTube in 2011, right? But it was like not quality, you know. I was recording it from my computer, you know what I mean? No HD, my iPad, whatever I can get it up there with. So, and I didn't have the intentions of building a brand or a channel. I remember a friend of mine, David Avila, he was explaining to me about Google AdSense and how you can monetize it. And the way he described it, it sounded so complicated and it sounded like such tiny amounts of money. I was like, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested in that. So it took me a year before I actually monetized my channel. But anyway, so 2012, things start to really take off because now I'm pretty much spread out on all these social media platforms. And so people have access to me. People are sharing the workouts. Like, one thing about social media, what people don't understand, they're like, how do I grow this or build that? I'm like, what do you do? Like, for what? Like, what is your purpose of why do you want to build it? I just want to motivate people or whatever they say. They say things that they think they're supposed to say versus I want to teach people how to do X, Y, Z. Or I just want to make people laugh. Or it's got to be a reason that people are going to share it or keep coming back checking for it, right? So like the people that I subscribe to, there's reasons. There's information or they're funny or there's reasons that I keep going back to them, you know? So I was really breaking down everything. And when I would do a video on YouTube, you would see the workout, but you would have me explaining why, how many, how long, right? Because my training is unconventional. It's not like the majority of stuff out there. I'm not saying it's better, it's just different. So I was explaining it and people were like, okay, I like that. So that's what was making people gravitate towards me. So at this point, 2012, my bandwidth is exceeding my capacity of training people. I'm talking about all day. Like I was turning away clients. I had to start doing semi-private so that I could do groups of people at a time. It was just becoming too much. So I had never taken any supplements at this point. So I took a fat burner one day and I was like, oh, this is perfect. Because I was not having the energy to train everybody and be upbeat. And I don't want somebody to come in and I'm not in a good mood. So, and that would like kind of help elevate my mood and all of that. But it would be weird side effects that I would feel. Then I tried pre-workout, the same. I like the energy, but it would be some kind of weird side effects. So what I did was I started taking my phone and taking pictures of the backs of the ingredients on the products that I liked. And from there, I would research each ingredient, right? So when people ask me very specific questions like, how do I start a gym? How do I start a supplement company? In my head, I'm like, you just don't got it. Yeah. If you have to ask me, because I didn't ask anybody, it's like the information is out there, right? Now, unless I have somebody that's already in, I guess I would ask them, but I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anyone to ask. And I didn't even think that. I'm like, I'm just gonna, look this up. Now, keep in mind, I wasn't researching these ingredients with the intentions of starting a company. I was researching these ingredients so I can make my own product for me that give me what I wanted, what I liked out of what I felt, and I can eliminate what I didn't like, right? The side effects. So, and that's what I did. I would work all day long. I would fall asleep with my computer on my chest every night because I'm researching late at night. And that's something that I tell people all the time. They want to hop out the frying pan into the fire. I'm like, don't quit your job yet. You don't have any money coming in yet. So what I did, you can still be working your 9 to 5 plus overtime. And when you off, you got time to study. You know what I mean? You're not 80. You got the energy. When you're young, you can sacrifice sleep. That's not the best thing to do, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So that's what I did. So I started sourcing the ingredients to try. And, they weren't quality, through Amazon, wherever I could find it. It was stuff coming from China. It would work, but it wasn't the best stuff. It was crude, but I was using it on myself. My first batch, my first protocol of the pre-workout, I almost killed myself. I didn't have you measure these things in such small amounts, milligram scales. And I just went to the smoke shop to find one. The smallest they had was a gram. I'm like, milligram, gram, that's a big difference, right? So I measured it by sight, the caffeine anhydrous with a spoon. I'll use a tablespoon full for one serving. That's crazy, right? So I kind of put myself in a coma for like a day.
Wow.
It was crazy. But anyway, we get into that another time.
You had to go through that process to fine tune it.
Yeah, but I still, I lived it. Yeah. So anyway, so I finally got it to where, this is good. It tastes horrible because I didn't know anything about masking flavors, yada, 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 but I just wanted the effects and I got that and I was good. So at this time, a lot of people, my name was getting a buzz in the fitness community and people were starting to reach out to me for like different brand deals or sponsorships and stuff like that. And I've always been my own person, not really wanting to hop on a team or whatever, just do my own thing. But one guy hit me up in particular and he was like, you ever thought about doing your own supplement line? Now that sounded more attractive to me than versus, hey, would you like to represent my company? Yeah. So I'm like, funny you ask. So you guys, anybody in my life at this time, my kitchen looked like a laboratory. So I took pictures of everything in my kitchen and I sent it to him. I said, I'm kind of doing that now. He was like, really? So we started talking about the formula and stuff like that. And he was impressed and we met up and he said he can help with the manufacturing and all the back end stuff. I said, okay, but as long as this is the formula, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think nothing of it. We agreed, we shook hands, we came up with an agreement, and we had a company. We started a company, and my first month I made like $3,000. I was like, this is all right, like this is extra money, not thinking nothing of it. And every month it just kept increasing. And then we started adding products, and then it just grew to what it became. And that company is unique because I got into it not knowing anything about the industry. So I'm doing everything wrong, but everything right. Because everything, the way they do it, it's a flooded lane. It's so flooded. I was selling all direct to consumer. I'm making all my margins, right? So when I would say, oh, what I did this year, like say if I said I did $1 million this past year, right? And ABC company did $1 million. My $1 million, I made $600,000 when the guy that owns this company might have made $150,000 because it's wholesale and it's cheaper. When mine was all retail. So that's how I made all my money. So I was making a killing. It did well, but I started, as you grow and you evolve, that company was strictly meathead products, gym rat products. And I'm a gym rat, I'm a meathead, all of that. I own it. But I'm also very concerned with health and with brain functionality and things of that nature. So just a natural progression of mine was to grow outside of that and do something bigger and better, really good for people and for myself. So that's when myself and two good friends of mine who also had successful businesses as well, we came up with the idea of doing Ambrosia. I thought of doing it first. I wanted to do a nootropic product for cognitive functioning. And so I got with them, we started talking about it, and we was like, you know what? We all have our own thing going on. We can do this, put as much money into it as we want, not worry about margins, not worrying about making money on it. We just don't want to lose money, but we can make the absolute best supplement company ever, right? I'm talking about creative ingredients, creative formulas, but really good, really effective, not cutting any corners. People source ingredients. They try to get the cheapest ingredient they can in a particular field to make the most margins. We didn't think about that at all. We said, we'll make it affordable for people, but we're gonna get the best ingredients. So that makes our margins smaller. But we didn't care because we were making money.
Quality is what you guys are focusing on.
Right.
Yeah.
We weren't concerned about money at all with that. It was a love child project, a passion project. So we started, doing our thing with that passively. But passively, like the first year, did like $1 million in sales.
Wow.
When the tax time came, I was like, really? How? Right. So a lot of international, a lot of wholesale, So I got to the point where, like, you know what? I was getting better and better offers on my first company. I said, I'm gonna sell and I'm gonna just go all in with Ambrosia. And that's what I did. And ever since then, it's taken off so crazy. And it's something I feel really good about. I can sell anything that I really believe in.
Totally.
Anything. And the products that we have are very difficult to sell. I have a product called Night Owl, which is to protect you from blue light, right? And macular degeneration, delivering magnesium to the brain. How do you sell? How is that gonna compete with a fat burner? Something you can take and you feel immediately.
Yeah.
But we're doing it. And I like those kind of challenges.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. Well, a lot of the products you guys have, I wouldn't mind, if you don't mind sharing some of the different types, like this is a plant-based protein. And you guys aren't just focused on fitness, but health in general, and optimizing that. So do you mind sharing with people a little bit about the different products you guys offer?
Yeah, right here is Planta. And Planta, is doing so good. Just launched it in October, and we can't keep this stuff in stock. It's crazy. But the thing about it is a lot of plant-based proteins don't taste the best, which is something that I don't mind because I just want the benefits of it. I stopped drinking whey protein a long time ago because of the lactose. the beautiful thing about Planta is you don't have to be a vegan or a vegetarian to enjoy the benefits of it, right? But until now, most people wouldn't want plant-based protein because of the taste. It was gritty, and it's really hard to beat how good and smooth whey protein is. However, we took our time with the flavoring of Planta, and nothing will ever beat whey as far as smoothness and taste, but we right there. As far as plant-based proteins, there's nothing even close to that's the smoothness and how good it tastes. And most plant-based proteins is just one source of aminos. So they'll have like a pea protein or whatever like that. So we have organic pea and organic rice, brown rice. So it's two sources. So it has a full amino profile like a whey protein would have. So you don't need an additional protein source when you have something like this. And a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals is good for you. Overall,
and that's important because a lot of the products out there, as you know, they're marketed towards fitness people, and a lot of the products, they're not good for you. Like they might be good for the aesthetics, the gym, but there's all these additional ingredients put in there that can compromise your health. And just because someone looks good on the outside doesn't mean they're healthy on the inside. I know your philosophy is all about health and the fitness component too. So that's really cool. So what was your first product, I guess, and what other types of products do you guys sell?
Yeah, the very first product with Ambrosia was Mental Jewels, I wanted to do a product like this ever since I saw the movie Limitless. It's impossible to mirror that, but we're close. So it's all herbal, it's good for you, it's healthy. There's people, you can read my reviews, we get emails time and time again of people that was hooked on Adderall that's not anymore. Because this doesn't just give you that brain boost, but it helps repair the brain and make the brain healthier because everything in it is herbal and it's natural. It's something you gotta take every day, but it's an amazing product and it's so important. Brain health is one of the most important, that's the control system, you know what I mean? So I'm big on that. So that was the very first product. We have Ritual, which is pretty much like a keto coffee, right? So it's a creamer. You can use it. It's an all-natural, non-dairy creamer. It makes your coffee taste amazing, or you can drink it in hot water as if it was coffee. And what it's doing is delivering exogenous ketones to the body and the brain. So we all know about the ketogenic diet and stuff like that. So Ritual can help put you in a state of ketosis without eliminating all the carbs. You know what I'm saying? So, and for those who do intermittent fasting like I do, it keeps you satiated for most of the day until it's time to eat, right? Yeah. So, I mean, people are taking the coffee and putting butter and MCT oil and all that. You don't have to do that with Ritual because we have the essential things that you need for a ketogenic diet in it already, right? And it tastes good. And for those who don't like coffee, we made a version of it that's like orange juice, so it's still like a morning drink or your morning ritual. We have that. We have Nectar, which is an organ support. I mean, that's as important as it gets. Yeah. I've seen the direct benefits of that when I'm getting my blood work done and not changing anything but implementing Nectar. I've seen numbers change for the better. So, and these are things like people don't understand. Training is good for you to an extent. Typically people are eating, with the carbs, fats, proteins, a lot of protein. A lot of protein is still breaking down, passing through the kidneys and damaging it, right? As well as the lactic acid that you're breaking down in your muscles is also passing. So we need things to counteract that. People don't realize that the good you're doing, you're still damaging yourself inside. So it kind of counteracts that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nectar. And it's just a phenomenal product, and it tastes so. That's the beautiful thing about our products. It's a pleasure to take. They taste good. You know what I mean? They're refreshing. They taste good. And that's important. That was important to me and my business partners because we want to be the coolest kids on the block. I don't want to be in the group with everybody else, So at any expo, when people come by my booth, they're like, all the creatives, everything I do is different from everybody else's. I got I got to show you my banner. It's like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bruce Lee and quotes, and people are just standing there looking at it. It's like the universe back there. They're just, even if they don't know who I am, they're coming to just read it, to check it out. It's like art, and that's what we're all about. Even down to my blog. I write a blog every week, and I just completed a series about different types of intelligence, right? And most blogs from a supplement company is about products. They're trying to get you back in the cell. When we came out, I was very adamant, like, this is not just about selling supplements. This is promoting a healthy, progressive lifestyle. What I want to do is share some of the nuggets, some of the little life hacks that we've gathered on our journey and that we're still learning, and share it with you guys, like cool information. Like, how many times you come across something really cool and you want to share it with your buddy? So I have a lot of people at my disposal that I can share cool information with. So I just did a whole blog over the past 3 weeks. I broke down the 9 different types of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Because I can recognize how important physical intelligence is, or, you know, naturalistic intelligence is, you know, and a lot of times in our society, all of the weight is placed on like a very just, you know, like IQs, SATs, when you can have a super high IQ, but socially awkward, not doing anything with your life, and it's pointless. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show people, like, it's about being a well-rounded person and showing people that there is different levels of intelligence. It's not just one, and not just one gets you anywhere in life. You need a combination of multiples. But that's just an example of the type of information that I put out, because I just do what I want to do. It's not industry stuff. They don't get it. I don't care. I'm not trying to appease industry people. I'm appeasing the people who consume our products, who subscribe to my information.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think has been a key component to your success, is differentiating. You know, and you're getting into a space, the supplement space, which is one of the most competitive industries out there. But one thing I love is you weren't deterred by that, but also you found a way to differentiate, whether it's, creating a better quality product, or the taste, the flavor. You're creating great content as well. You've got a YouTube channel which gives people a chance to connect with you and relate to you and follow you and everything too, which helps to promote the products as well. So do you mind sharing a little bit about what was the mindset, I guess, around differentiating? Did you consciously think about that when you first decided to get into this space, or did that kind of evolve as you went? And were you at all intimidated, I guess, to get into a space that is so competitive?
Okay. I wasn't intimidated in the least. The bigger the obstacle, I run at it harder. That's just how I am, right? And when they say that's not how you do it, I'm like, watch me.
Yeah.
Good.
So you had that belief.
I'm like, remember, don't change your position. Keep that. Watch me. I love that. As far as me differentiating myself, it wasn't a conscious thing. It's just how I am. I don't go with the crowd ever. There's times like my buddy back here or somebody will tell me about a really cool show. Just because everybody's talking about it, I don't want to see it. Yeah. And then I'll watch it like a year later when it's not popular no more. That's how weird I am with being different. So that's just me. That's my own thing. But no, I when I have a vision on how I think something, first of all, I hear a lot of people like influencers or whomever talk about embracing a loss and this, that, and the third, and I just don't subscribe to that. I win. I like to win. With that being said, I'm not naive. I don't go into spaces to where I don't think I can win. So when I do something, it's because I'm very confident that I can do well at it. So with that being said, I have my ideas on how to do it already, right? And it may be contrary to popular wisdom. Now, I don't go into it narrow-minded. If somebody's suggesting something that makes sense, I'm with it. I'll implement it. But I tend to have my own idea of how I want to communicate this product, how I want to promote this product. And it's with Ambrosia, it seems very difficult to promote such like products that are not popular, but for me it's easy because how do you promote it, Mike? I educate people on what it is and why it's important. That's what I used to do when I was training people. When I was sitting down with somebody for a consultation, my father had a quadruple bypass years ago, right? And I remember just diving into learning everything about the heart back then. So when I had somebody sitting in front of me, I would find something in their setup that was one little hole, and then I would just make it bigger and expose it and talk about it, especially with things of health and cardiovascular health and this, that, and the third, to where they're like, okay, I didn't know that, I'm in. And that's the same thing with the products that I have. It's like, this is important. Now that you know about it, if you're not interested in it, okay, maybe you'll come back to it another time, but at least you know now how important magnesium is for your brain, or how important, how important it is to make sure your livers are functioning healthy, or whatever. So that's, to me, marketing is easy because the products that I happen to have are important products. So once I educate you on it, you're in. And chances are there's not many people selling what I have.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody has a fat burner and a pre-workout.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, I want to dive into the mindset, because I think there's a lot of really important pieces you mentioned. Before I do though, when you first started Ambrosia, what did you guys just start with one product at first, and then did you find, like, did you have early success with that? And then how did you guys branch out from all those other products? Like, were you guys very strategic about that, or did you just think, hey, you know what, this is a great product, I think we'll do well, and you launch that one, and then you launch this one? Or what was the process, I guess, that you guys went through of launching products?
Yeah, we started with one product, and it did really, really well. So as that momentum started picking up, we was like, okay, let's keep going. The next product did even better. So what a supplement company is good to, unless you have a ton of money to start out with, you start with one product, see if it works. That way, if it don't, you haven't lost your life savings, right? So, and everything that I've done, just to throw out there, everything that I've done so far has always been my own money. I've never raised a dime, never raised any capital. Not that I wouldn't, I just don't know how, never done it. So anyway, and I believe in myself, I bet it all on me. So you start with one product, you get to gauge the market and see if what you got to do. If you're not selling, you can pull out. It's not too late. It's only one product. So that's what we did.
And like a smaller inventory too? Like, did you start pretty small before you?
Yeah, I think we started with 1,000, or it was out 1,000 or 3,000. I'm not sure. And that was it. And we seen how fast it was moving. And also the product was called Mental Jewels. I have a video series. I was writing a book called Mental Jewels. And I have a series of videos called Mental Jewels that were never popular. Like, all my training stuff, people loved it. 100,000, million views. The Mental Jewels, 20,000, 30,000. But I didn't care, because to me, I don't care if it's 10,000. That's a lot of people who's getting to see some real, or hear some real information. But anyway, I kept putting it out there, and it became a household name already. So when the product launched, they knew the name. So I branded it before we even had the actual product.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you guys don't even sell on Amazon. Like, I know we discussed you're going to go there, but
we don't sell like how you sell.
Right.
And that was something, and it's a funny story we was talking about before we started filming. When I was doing my research on Amazon, I came across your channel, and you made a point. You said that, the goal is to get your own site so where you can sell on there. And that kind of slowed down some of my momentum towards Amazon. But we do have an Amazon store. We do sell on Amazon, but I haven't put the engine there yet, And that is something that I do want to do, because I'm fascinated with the times that we live in, that you can sit at home and really run a successful business, or you can travel and do it from your phone. That's fascinating to me. And I like to leave no stones unturned, because it seems like I'm doing really, really well. I have a large following. I know how to communicate to my following, to sell. I have my sites, multiple sites that all get a lot of traffic. So it seemed like I don't need Amazon, but I'm not satisfied with that. I gotta go there. I gotta go into that dark space. We never know what can happen out of that, right? And also, Like, a lot of times these sites, marketing strategies, everything changes all the time. It's a ever evolving organism, marketing, sales. So who knows, by the time I get clicking with Amazon, it might be more beneficial for me to be there. I don't know that yet. So it's in my best interest, the way my mind thinks, to go there.
Totally. So do you guys primarily sell, you have your own website, is it like a Shopify store or like WooCommerce?
Yeah, it's a Shopify store. My last company I used, BigCommerce. I'm pretty familiar with all of the different e-commerce stores out there. So this one is Shopify. It's really easy, really comprehensive. I can change and do everything with my phone. Excuse me. I like Shopify. Yeah, everything is ran through there. We do a lot of wholesale as well. One of my partners, he specializes in that. His name is Mark. And that goes to a separate Shopify store. But we're in the process of putting everything together. But it's like we have two businesses. But yeah, everything is clicking, firing. Awesome. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, no, I think what you're doing, like as I mentioned in that one video, is the long-term goal, right? Mm-hmm. Because you have more control, you make more money. You're not dependent on Amazon, because a lot of people, they just build an Amazon business, but then Amazon has control over everything, right? And I think for probably most people, Amazon's like the easier way to start, just because they have like the platform. They make it a lot easier than what you've done, but like, yeah, you set up an awesome business. You guys, like, your marketing is really good too. Like, you guys don't just use Shopify, but you have like landing pages and like you funnel people from Instagram ads right to like a landing page offer, all that sort of stuff too. So you guys have built like a really awesome business.
Oh yeah, we are landing page fanatics.
I love it. Are you guys using like ClickFunnels or something for that, or what?
Nah, we're building everything in house. Wow. Yeah, we got a really talented team. Really, I'm very fortunate, man. Like, I've been in this business for a while now, since 2012, and I know a lot of people, but I really connect with a small amount of people, and the network now is small but very concentrated with talent. And smart guys. I got a lot of quirky and weird ideas. They like it, you know what I mean? I'm like, can you do this and do that? They're like, yes, and I love that. So, and everybody, we all wear different hats, over Black Friday, well, I did Black Thursday, and Cyber Monday, man, I'm in the warehouse preparing orders because we had so many. So to everybody, we were all there, hands on. So, it's the work environment, my team, it's like, I guess you could say family. That sounds kind of cheesy and cliche, but we all get each other, and everybody, it's no one's around for the paycheck, right? And that's something that's big to me, because one thing that I hate, but I understand, is when I'm calling somewhere for a service and the person on the phone just don't care. It's just a job, right? They just want to get me off the phone, get to their break. And I understand that, so I can't be mad at them, right? But it's like, but I can be, because when I go out and I speak, I tell people all the time, because a lot of times, this is something I want to communicate to these people. Social media really messes people up, because you have people that might be successful or might look like they're successful telling everyone else, don't be a slave, 9 to 5, F that, be a boss. I'm like, look, come on, that's goofy. There's nothing, having a job is an honorable thing, right? There's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 at all. So with that being said, if you have a 9 to 5, even if it's not your dream job, it's not where you want to end up at, work it like you do want to be there. Work it like you love it. First of all, respect the people giving you a paycheck. If it's beneath you, then quit. Tough guy, go do your own thing, right? But if somebody's paying you, be appreciative and really provide the best service that you can, because what it's doing something very powerful for you. Is you're building and you're developing an ineffable work quality, work capacity, and work ethic, right? And that's something that you don't learn in school. You learn that working at a shitty job, at a job that you don't like, with a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? You're building character. So when you do get a position that you really want, or you start your own business, you're killing it. You're working all the hours. When you're working hard like that, your team sees that and they want to match you. They don't want to leave the office while you're still there. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how it is. The guys that stay late, I order Uber Eats. We eat, we crack jokes, we have fun. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me, you know, and those people get rewarded. I tell people all the time, you don't want to be the person that when it's time for budget cuts, that you're in the list. You want them to take like this, nope, Steph, nah, don't even think about it. We'll figure something out with him. These other people can go. You know, when you put in your 2 weeks notice, they're like, why? Let's work something out. That's the person you want to be. And working, I don't care if it's McDonald's, you work it to where that's how they feel about you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think you made a really good point that what you're doing right now in your job, even if you hate your job, that will translate to everything else you do. It's not like, you know, you're half-assing your job, you're doing the bare minimum to get by, and then you quit that, you start your own business, and you're going to put everything you can into it.
Right,
like,
it doesn't happen like that.
How you're showing up right now with your existing job, that's the opportunity, even if you don't like it, to build those habits and the work ethic and teach yourself to have discipline, or, you know, add value and contribute to the customers, to your employer. Because then once you do start your own business, that will go along with it. And
100%.
maybe not just with that, but maybe everything else you do. Like, I'm sure
It does in your life, yeah.
Yeah, I think like for you, like your training and your boxing, like all of what you've, I guess, been through there, that has contributed to your success today in business.
Listen, man, let me tell you, that is, what you're saying is it gets no truer than that. I've been through, you don't know my whole story, and we'll talk about it at some point, but I've been through the worst that you can go through. And it's funny, I had a conversation with somebody about this morning. I dealt with it with a smile and nobody knew what was going on, right? Like everything looked bleak. Like, why is he even doing this? If they knew that, that's what they would say. But I did it until it went away, right? So, you know, my father always told me, you don't develop character when times are great, a lot of money and everybody, no. You develop character when the lights go out, and you lose the job, your tires flat, whatever. And how you do it is you keep your head up, you still treat people good, be nice, be kind, and smile. You smile through that. What can be difficult if you could smile in the face of adversity? Nothing. And in my life, you know, I got a lot of people, family, whatever, I gotta help all the time. When they're crying and I'm ranting and going on about, I'm like, what's going on? And they tell me, I'm like, okay, I got you. Like, but in my mind, it's like, that's nothing. You know, and even the things that I deal with, you're gonna run it, especially in business, you're going to run into brick walls. It's gonna happen. It will never go exactly how you think it's gonna go. Okay, dig under it, go around it, bust through it, climb over it, figure out a way around it. Figure it out, you can do it. But oftentimes people get to that mountain or that wall, head down, and they go back. And I understand that, but it's not for everybody to climb. I get it. But if you can persevere through that, it just builds your strength. And it transcends through everything. Relationships with your significant others, friendships, everything. So, you know, that's very important.
Yeah, there's the physical muscles, there's also the emotional muscles that you're building too.
100%.
And I think that's a good transition into mindset, because that's such a key component of success. And you've already given a lot of clues to your mindset. You know, you're obsessed and focused on quality, you have the work ethic, you know, you have the confidence, you're not intimidated by things. So I guess my question is, how did you develop that? Like, did you kind of always have it, or did you have to work on yourself a lot? Did you have mentors? Did you read books? Like, how did you develop that mindset?
I don't know. I think my father put the battery in my back, you know, and my mother too. My mother treated me like a prince when I was a kid. So I had a lot of confidence because of her. She always dressed me nice. She treated me like a doll, I guess, you know. And she complimented me all the time. So I always had confidence, and I always happened to be good at the things that I did, like if it be sports, even academically, you know, I was like valedictorian, honor roll, all of that stuff. So I think just the course that my parents put me on. Life wasn't perfect by any means. We had a lot of problems, but they set me on a course. I always felt special, not in the sense that I was supposed to be some big famous person, but I felt special. I always felt and recognized quality in me. And so that's pretty much why I move the way I move and I think the way I think. I'm just, and I was the only child, so that gives a lot of space for creativity and me doing things and figuring things on my own, not doing it how my big brother do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was something that I always wish I had, but I'm glad that I didn't now as an adult, because I am unique and I'm weird. I get it, but I appreciate it and I like being weird. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, I guess, with along the journey of entrepreneurship, have you encountered some pretty big failures, challenges, and how did you, I guess, what's your mindset around encountering those adversities and challenges along the way?
Yeah, man. In 2015, I was in the process of opening a gym in Miami, and I ended up taking on a partner that I didn't intend on taking on, but he was very persuasive. And to run him off, I wrote an operating agreement that was just completely biased for me. And I said, if he say yeah, then I'll do it. And he said yeah. So too good to be true. That's a real thing. So come to find out, as we moved on, we opened the gym, huge success. I mean, my grand opening, I really promoted it. I made sure everybody, all the big names, I'm friends with the people, all the big influencers, and they all came out, and it became a big event, the grand opening. We had something like 3,000 people came in throughout the day, people flying from other countries. I'm like, you from where? Okay, it was really cool. And but anyway, my business partner was involved in a lot of shady things, and these are things that I didn't know. I very rarely go into business with people I don't really know, and he was the first one that I did, and it caught up to him, and it all came down at my gym, in 2017, and it was a huge thing. So I ended up closing in 2017. I was gonna renegotiate everything with the landlord, but commercial real estate in Miami is ridiculously expensive, and he tried to go up on that. It was just a mess, and I had such a bad taste in my mouth from everything that had happened there in Miami. I just haven't tried to even consider reopening yet. It's something that's deep down that I do have to conquer, but yeah, I had a failure, and it was because I took on a business partner who agreed to fund almost everything. And it was just a situation that was just too good to be true. And, when I take inventory of my life and everything that I've accomplished thus far, nothing was super easy to do. I had to save money and wait to this and do that. So for somebody to say, here's the money, that's too good to be true. And it was too good to be true. And deep down, I knew it was too good to be true. So, me not following my intuition on that, being greedy, that backfired big time, and that hurt bad. When I got the phone call about the things that were happening, it hurt, it stung, and it stung for a while because people really love the gym. Like, I would get compliments in different countries, like, hey, I was at your gym and your staff is so cool, they made me feel welcomed. And that was a hard thing to swallow. And then you got to hear about it all the time, when you reopening? I'm like, just go away. So, but it's something I'm going to do at some point. But right now, a gym is not a big money maker. Not that everything I do is for money, but it's not super important for me to jump on right now. But it's something that I do want to do because just for street cred, you know what I'm saying? Just to have the best gym out there. Yeah.
So what is your mindset around failure? Because I think everybody's going to encounter that, whether maybe that first product you launched wasn't as successful as you thought, or, you mentioned before, like, not everything's going to go as you expect. So what's the mindset you have around failure? And then what do you think, like, what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? Like, are there any other mindsets that help you? Like you mentioned, making sacrifices and, You set goals and things like that. I'd love to hear just your thoughts on certain mindsets that have helped you get to where you are today.
Right. There's no failure. It's market research. You figure out why this right here didn't work, pick it apart, and then either, if that's not for you, leave it alone, go on to something else, or reconstruct it the right way. Figure out what you did for it not to work at that time. Failure is such a fatal word, like, you failed, you got an F. So I don't really like to subscribe to that or lose or anything like that. I see everything as glass half full, everything. So yeah, you gotta be tough. You gotta have thick skin in this business. I'm sure you know, there's a lot of vultures out there. There's a lot of, people that's just, they have no humanity. It's all money for them. So, but you gotta have thick skin, and listen, if something don't work, okay, it didn't work like that. Reconstruct it. Don't dwell on it. Don't go crying to everybody about it, because no one, as much as you think they care, no one wants to hear it. No one cares. Unfortunately, that's just a fact. So just suck it up and keep working. That's it. It just be tough. Listen, we all have the same 24 hours every day, but once those hours are gone, you can't get it back. So you're gonna spend your time complaining or doing something productive on to the next thing. So, and my thing is like, look, one thing that I know is gonna happen is I'm gonna die one day. So I need to do as much as I can every day, okay? So when I'm gone, everything is good, So yeah, I wouldn't sit around with something that didn't work out too long.
Yeah.
I would just take out what works and move on.
Yeah. So what advice would you give majority of people watching this? Maybe they're brand new to business, they've got that 9 to 5, they want to make that transition. You mentioned, and I'd love for you to share, like, when you first were the personal trainer, just taking that leap of faith into the unknown to being an entrepreneur. That was a bit of transition. There's fear that people have around that. But anything you can offer for someone maybe that's watching this, that's in that position, they've got their job, they want to make that transition, they want to be an entrepreneur, maybe it's on Amazon, maybe it's their own store, maybe it's whatever. What advice would you give to someone like that?
Just really embrace the fact that, first of all, don't quit your job if your side job, what you want to do is not bringing in money yet.
Right. So just do it on the side.
Just do it on the side, after work, on your lunch break, before work, whatever. You have the time. I don't want to hear people don't have time. You got the time. You can do a lot, right? So start generating money, and if it's enough money for you to, to cover your necessities and all of that stuff, then go for it. Listen, you gotta go for it. It's gonna be scary, or don't. And let somebody else go and become their own boss. But hop in that ocean. You either sink or you swim. It's simple. Don't sink. Don't sink. Just get out there. You gotta be brave. It is what it is. But you will develop strong skin, tough lungs, and you'll be able to swim laps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna love it. It's fun. It's fun once. The payoff is just having financial freedom. It's crazy when I think about, what I used to make, like at this one, when I was a trainer working for a gym, what I would make in a year is like a week now, a year. And that's most people's yearly salary is something that we could do in one transaction. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but when I was there, it was normal to me. And I think if I was talking to me, this Mike, talking to that Mike, I probably wouldn't have believed.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a different reality.
Right. Yeah. So, but what y'all should know is that is real. It's real. Somebody came up to me at an expo one day and was like, y'all really make money? I was like, whatever you want to think, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it's real. It's a lot of multimillionaires on the internet, starting from scratch, from their own hustle, their own grind. And it's just, I love the time that we live in.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
It's amazing. The last question I have before we wrap up, I guess for the people that are watching this that maybe already have a business, maybe they're doing 5 figures, 6 figures, and they want to scale it up, they've got a product. what can you share with them that you've learned that's allowed you to scale up? Maybe it's, building your team or whatever, what have you been the most important things that have allowed you to scale your business?
Yeah, building a team is very important. When I remember my first time hitting $100,000 in sales in a month, I was like, okay, this is good. But then the growing pains come. I have to buy more inventory to be in stock. I had to hire another customer service person, another shipping person. So you're gonna have to, endure those growing pains. Don't trip about it right now. You're not trying to cash out right now. You got to keep putting your money in your own company. You will get to a point to where you're just making money hand over fist. But in the beginning, I don't care, $200,000, $300,000 a month in sales, you may not still be making the money that you think you should be making yet, but you got to keep reinvesting and getting your ship. Everything has got to be efficient, right? And smooth. So keep putting the money back into your company and make sure your product is good, and customer service need to be on point. It's very important. And that's really it. My experience is always products and things that I'm really into. So it makes it really easy for me to sell this stuff, right? And I'm in a position to put out really high quality of whatever I'm doing. So that's what I'm about. I know there's other business models that, that's not the end all, but for me that is. So I can't really go into that, but I would say just qualify yourself and your services and your products to be the best that it could be in your market. But that's it, and work your ass off. And for the people that want to transition from 9 to 5 to working for themselves, happy hour, Taco Tuesday, you gotta forget about all of that. Yeah. When I stop hanging out with my friends is when things start clicking for me. You know what I mean? And I still love these guys. I never see them though, because they're doing Taco Tuesdays still, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So time is your most valuable asset and commodity. Yeah. Use it wisely.
Yeah, and part of getting what you want is knowing what you have to give up, right, or the price you have to pay for it, mm-hmm. right? At least in the short term, right? Yeah. Short term, you got to make those. It doesn't have to be forever, but short term, you are going to have to make some of those sacrifices.
100%. I mean, you sacrifice that social stuff now, think your social later. Like, I don't take time off. I travel all the time, but I'm always working still. You get to work in Australia, in New Zealand, in London, wherever, right? So you sacrificing a little this is not fun. That stuff is not fun once you get to travel the world and still make money and still have fun. But to me, making money is fun. That's the ultimate fun. I'm sorry.
And when you're doing what you love, right? Which for you is your mission, your purpose.
But one of the things that I love, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, is making money. Totally, I love making money. Yeah. I love, the more money I have, the happier I am. And I'm not saying money is the source of happiness, but it is a source of happiness. Everybody will come up and be super moral and, it's not about the money. I don't subscribe to that. In this world, you need money. Yeah. And the more money you have, if you're not some self-destructive person, the better off you are for people. You can help people, you can, pay your parents' mortgage off or whatever. Yeah. You could do really nice things. But you need money, and money is it's not the, but it is a source of happiness.
Yeah, I always look at money as a tool. Mm-hmm. So, it's the freedom that it can provide. You can invest more in yourself, your own growth, have more experiences. You can have more stuff and more materialistic things too, but the experiences and the rewards from that, or being able to, as you said, contribute and help people in different ways, or invest in other ideas that you have and turn that into a reality. So, on the same page with you. So thank you so much for taking the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
How can people find out more about you? What's your YouTube, your Instagram?
YouTube / Mike Rashid, Instagram Mike Rashid. Everything is Mike Rashid.
Okay, so and the website simple. For Ambrosia?
AmbrosiaCollective.com. Real simple.
Awesome. So we'll link to all of that for you guys in the description of this video. Check out Mike, follow him. He's got so much incredible information, especially check out his products too if you want to improve and optimize your health. But thank you again, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button here on YouTube, subscribe for more YouTube videos, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.